I always believed that God speaks to us in many ways, through people we meet or even the quotes we stumble upon. And this might just be for you. Hi everyone, my name is Jean Marie. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm also quite new here on YouTube, as you can see. In most videos, I'll be talking about career motivation, balancing work life and being a mom, and my faith. And so today, God really put a word in my heart that I wanted to share. I hope it'll inspire someone out there. And we're going to be talking about our spiritual compass. This word came out of nowhere. I was getting ready to film the video that I thought I was going to talk about today. And I remembered last night when I was cooking. Wait, it wasn't even last night. It was this morning. Yes, I was frying shrimp tempura for the kids' lunchbox this morning, and a little splatter of oil literally went in my, well, not in my eye, because as you know, we have that just natural instinct to blink. And so because I blinked, it didn't get inside. It's so crazy and amazing how God designed our bodies to protect itself. Even when you accidentally touch something hot, like you have this instinct to like pull away immediately. Even like our immune system, how our certain cells fight bacteria. He made us in a way where we have the capacity and the ability to protect ourselves. It's not just in the physical that he did this. He has equipped us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to guide us and make decisions that would be best for us. And the thing is, you know, these instincts that are supposed to be natural, unfortunately, can break, or our sensitivity to things can be calloused. And made me think those fire dancers throwing fires and having exhibitions with fire all around them, dancing and putting themselves in so much danger if you look at it from afar, but they're so used to it. And do you really think that if like a tiny burn hit their finger or touched their skin, they would still react as quickly as you do? I don't think so, because they're so used to it. I was watching this documentary on either Hulu or Netflix on gut health, and there was one guy that they interviewed. His profession was to join hot dog eating contests. And so he would eat like mountains of hot dogs in a bun. And he's been doing this for years. And it damaged his gut to a point where he doesn't know how to feel satisfied and full anymore, because his gut and his, I don't know, his intestines and stomach and all that stuff down there are just desensitized from satiety. How do you say that? How do you say satiety? I don't know. His stomach has just become so desensitized from being full that it doesn't feel that anymore. And so, where am I going with this? Our spiritual compass, our emotional, spiritual, and mental instincts that have also been built in to protect us. Unlike the physical stuff that we can clearly see, we just don't see these things, but they're built in us. And that's why when you make a decision, you have that voice and that feeling of, I don't think this is right. But a lot of times when we put ourselves in an environment that is so dangerous and that is so risky all the time, putting ourselves in danger with the decisions that we make, our compass doesn't work well anymore. We just have become callous about risky and dangerous things. And we see this in people all the time. It's like addiction, right? Like people who are addicted to certain drugs didn't just try the drug one time and then they got addicted. It doesn't happen that way. It takes multiple times that you get desensitized from the feeling of this is not good for me, up until you don't recognize that anymore. The same goes with sin, right? Like I always tell my kids, when I catch them lying to me, it really breaks my heart, no matter how small it is. So our rule is they only have electronics in the weekends. When it was bedtime, I would say, no more electronics, go to bed. And they'd be like, okay, they'd pretend to be in bed. And I've caught them, well, one of them multiple times, still sneaking in to do a game or two. And not just electronics. Like I've caught some of them reading a book in the dark because they just really wanted to finish a chapter. And these are like small things. And so I'm not really mad because of what they did. Like it's very innocent little things that they're doing. And sometimes I catch them playing with their toys in the dark. But I tell them, like, you can't lie to me all the time and pretend you're asleep. Because if you keep doing this, you're going to be so used to lying that it won't feel bad anymore. And I don't want you to ruin your spiritual compass. There will come a time when you're so used to lying with little things that lying about something big doesn't feel dangerous anymore. It doesn't feel bad. And this is just a little example for like my young kids, but this happens to us all the time. And even in our angry moments, and anger may seem like tiny, but it's really not. A lot of bigger issues and bigger problems stem from not being able to manage our anger. And if we have that voice inside us in the middle of an outburst telling us to calm down now and take it easy, let it go, you've already said enough, and we keep ignoring those signals and that voice that's telling us to stop, you're gonna desensitize yourself from those warnings, and you end up bursting into anger more often and just exploding unnecessarily, and you end up regretting things that you say, hurting others' feelings, regretting the effects of your anger. And we have to be careful and watch ourselves, and where in our day-to-day do we desensitize ourselves from these signals that have been designed by God to help us, protect ourselves and others from getting hurt. And that's why we continue to live in sin. A lot of us continue to dwell in this lifestyle of sin because we're so used to it that it doesn't feel bad. Really feed yourself with His Word and spend time with the Lord. When you start hanging out with people all the time, you start to get their mannerisms, you start to follow their expressions, and you notice this especially with the young ones. Like they all say the same bad words, or they all sound the same, and they all dress the same. So I told them, like, we always pray to be like Jesus, to be more like Him, to love like Him, to be more forgiving and more patient like Him. But if we're not spending more time with Him, we are who we hang out with. If we're not spending enough time with the Lord, how is that going to happen? How are we going to reflect Him to others if we're not spending time meditating on His Word? It all boils down to that. Like, as you spend time with the Lord, the more you mirror Him, and the more you have His Spirit just burning and ignited, you are able to really maintain that spiritual compass and not get desensitized with the ways of the world. Yeah, I hope that encouraged someone today the way it encouraged me. And I hope you enjoyed videos like this. I will be making more of these types of videos alongside, the work-life balance, corporate hustle, content, but let me know what you think. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next one.